Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Hence back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing how to be a millionaire in Hut in terms of the millionaire mentality and how to build your wealth in Hut. If you want to know explicitly how to make coins, the best sniping filters, all of that stuff, check out my other videos. Those are going to be super helpful. But this one is going to be super helpful for you even before you watch those videos because you're going to get into the mindset of how I've made so many coins on the game. If you guys have been enjoying my content, please leave a like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate all the support that I get on this channel. It means a lot to me. So yeah, let's get into the video. So there's a few things that you have to keep in mind when you want to make a lot of coins in Hut and have a lot of coins in Hut. So the first thing that you need to keep in mind is that to have a lot of coins in Hut, you don't necessarily need to work the market. But the single most important thing, especially if you're not going to work the market, is that you don't ever, when avoidable, want to trade your tradable coins into untradeable players. So for me, I've made a few players myself because I have a lot of coins. I made Fedorov, Sakic, Slav. I made Darlene, but I made him for basically free, and I made Paul Coffey. So everybody else on my team is either tradable or I made them for free with untradeable stuff that you just get naturally from the game. And so essentially that's what my recommendation to most people is when they're saying, okay, how do you have so many coins? I'm constantly stuck on 10,000 coins all year long, and I constantly feel the need to rip packs in order to, upgrade my team because I don't have any coins to start with a base. Well, the truth is, when you want to play the game, you want to play to the point where you're selling every tradable card that you get, and with all those coins that you make, you're using those coins to work the market. You're not using those coins to put into an untradeable player. If there's a player that you really want to try, for example, Connor McDavid, who's honestly a good buy right now because he's pretty cheap. But if we look up 85 overalls and we find a Connor McDavid here, he's 250k. That's like an insane value. So say you want to try out Connor McDavid and there's an MSP out that's an 86 Connor McDavid, but you can go in the market and buy his card for, if there was an MSP that came out, he'd probably go down to like 100k, but you could buy this card for 100k after the panic of everybody going and rushing out to make Connor McDavid's card, and then once the event is over and people can no longer make the card, then his card is going to start going back up in price, and boom, you're able to sell that, flip that, and it's a net zero impact on your coin base, and you got to try out McDavid. Even if you want to keep McDavid, if there comes a point in time where there's a better card that you want to use to upgrade your team, you can sell McDavid. So my number one recommendation for you on how to become a Hut millionaire is to avoid as much as possible turning your tradable coins into untradeable cards. Now, there is a few caveats to that. The first one is I personally allow myself to do that if it's going to use up less than 10% of my coin base, and before I can turn any more cards into untradeable coins, I have to make the coin value of double the amount that I spent. So if I spend 100,000 coins, I have 1,000,000 coins. I spend 100,000 to make an MSP because that's 10% of my coin base. Before I can make another MSP, before I can make another untradeable card, I have to turn around and I have to make 200,000 coins of profit. And then have 1.1 million coins, and then from there I can spend 110k, and then I have to make 220k before I can do the next one, etc., etc. So that would be my recommendation to you. That way you're never falling below a certain threshold of coins, where if you're only spending 10% at a time, then you're always going to have 90% of your coin base, and just naturally over time that 90% is going to grow to larger and larger numbers. There's 3 points in the year where I will say that it is okay to spend up to, I would say, 80% of your coin base. Maybe a little, that's a bit aggressive. I would even say maybe 60%, if you really want to be safe. Those 3 times are one, and the most important one where I would say 80% is almost mandatory, whether it's tradable or untradeable players, is fantasy. Fantasy is the most important event of the year for making coins, especially if you can buy players on the market that are tradable. They go up like crazy, you wouldn't believe. So Fantasy, I would say spend 80% of your coins on tradable players, spend the other 20% of your coins on untradeable fantasy cards because they're always fun to have in your team. The second one, obviously, is Team of the Year. I would highly recommend spending coins during Team of the Year to get at least one Team of the Year. A lot of the times I make all of the Team of the Years. This year I'm not going to do that just because it's just made the game boring after Team of the Year for me. I always quit after Team of the Year just because I have all the Team of the Years and then my team doesn't change much after that. So I'm only going to do one forward, one defenseman, and maybe a goalie for Team of the Year. And then for Team of the Season is the last one that I would say spend your coins. Team of the Season is really the last super relevant event of the year. So if you spend 80% of your coins on Team of the Season and you just kind of coast your way through the rest of HUT, then that's fine to me. But yeah, the big one is fantasy, which is going to be coming up here in the next few weeks, probably the next month or so. I would say probably within the first 2 weeks of the NHL season starting, fantasy will come out. But I think there's a very strong possibility that not today, but next Friday, fantasy comes out. So I would definitely start saving up your coins now. The new drop of MSPs, obviously, it's been leaked. It's going to be like Pasternak, Matthews, Carlson, and Allmark, and one other guy, I forget who. But I would highly recommend not building any of those cards using tradable coins. If you've saved up packs and like untradeable packs and you have a bunch of 82 overalls and you do all the objectives and you can make one for free, obviously go ahead and make one for free. If you only need to buy like say 182 player off the market to make it and it's going to cost you 10k and you have 100k, then that's fine too. Just make the card. But I would say in general it's going to be a wise decision today on Friday to not spend all of your coins to make these MSPs, even though they're going to be quite enticing. I would definitely say, like, for example, Pasternak, he's going to come out today with an MSP, but if you go to the collection and you look at his actual card, it's going to be crashing down in price because everybody's going to buy his MSP. His card's probably going to be, like, after the end of the day today, probably, like, 30k. That's an amazing value for Pasternak because then you don't have to spend your coins to make his MSP unless you can make it for free. You get this Pasternak for 30k. He rebounds after the event is over because not everybody made Pasternak, and boom, he's back up to 50k next week, and that's a great flip. So that's something that I would definitely recommend is if there's an alternative to an untradeable card and you could just buy it on the market and you see it crash because of the new tradable card, then I would highly recommend not doing that. The last thing that I wanted to mention for millionaire mentality is the store packs. Just knowing what store packs are out, like this one contains 380 plus overall players. There's an 18% chance at an 84, which means there's going to be a decent amount of supply on the market from this pack. So you can suspect whenever a new content drops, go to the store, check out the packs. Whatever the pack drops, that's what you're going to be wanting to look for on the market, because when people start ripping those packs, you're going to be like, okay, now there's 80 plus cards, so why don't we go to 80 overalls, to 82 overalls or something, and see what their prices are. So it looks like 80 overalls are selling for like, 2,500 coins. 81s are selling for like 3,000 coins, and then 82s are the ones that are required for the event. So that's going to be a good purchase to make. So I'll look at 82s. I think they were hovering around 8k last time I checked. Yeah, so they're down a little bit because of that pack. So this is another one that I'm going to want to snipe. And then you obviously know that there's good cards that work for chemistry that are 82 overall that people are going to want to buy. So yeah, so definitely take a look at the pack store and use that as a method to find out what you're going to be trading next. That's the last big tip that I have for this video. So if you guys did enjoy this video, thank you so much. Please leave a like, subscribe, join the Discord, link in the description. I appreciate you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.